Okay, so this over here is the day I've been waiting for a long time. We got 2 inches of rain yesterday, and I'm gonna go out and see if my pond held any water whatsoever. If you guys remember, I rented a little excavator about 2-3 weeks ago, and I dug my very own mini pond. I wanted a mini pond, mini, M-I-N-I pond, and I put it up there in that pasture where there's no natural water source. And today we're gonna find out if after 2 inches of rain, my pond actually has any water in it. This is gonna be very exciting. This morning we just got us a new hay delivery from our hay man out of Magnolia, Texas. And I'll tell you what, you can see for yourselves how all the cows have gathered around, that they love that hay. It makes us happy to know that we have a source. Guys, you all know that we lost our hay in Plum Grove this summer. It has gone way past its expiration date, and now it's no longer any good. Today is my Monday. Jamie and I drove by and picked up the hay yesterday, and it is absolutely turned brown. And at this point, it's really good for nothing. Uh-oh. I was trying to fill my waters up, and I have a water hose doing something kind of... I got me a fountain here, guys. I got me a fountain somehow. That's fine. It's filling up. I guess we're okay with that. As long as the water's going inside the container, the water trough, I'm good. So I will bring a couple of more rolls out for the girls and boys here. But at some point today, I have to start moving cows. I need to try to find a way to get the bulls moved back up to the front or something. I don't know exactly how we're going to do that. But I do think that by using this feed buggy over here and taking this off the pasture will be my best. That will be my best attempt at moving cows away. I'll have to probably move it first, let the cows go a couple of days without it before they end up feeling a little bit of hunger. And once they feel that hunger, you can actually make them move. But on my own, just trying to make them, there's no way to call them from one pasture to another. If in fact, in this pasture, they have their food, they have their fresh water, they have their green pastures, they have their dry hay, they have each other, they have no reason to follow me. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Cows have to have a reason to follow you. And so we can usually, well, the easiest way to make them follow you is by using feed. So at some point today, I'll have to get a few things moved around, and then we will absolutely start trying to work on getting some cows separated. But we're blessed to have gotten another delivery of hay. I'll spend a few minutes right now getting that hay moved into the barn, getting it out of the weather. I'm going to fill up water troughs, and then we'll start planning out how we're going to do the cow shifting, the cow swap, the cow move about. I just don't know how this is going to happen. I have gotten a lot of advice and input on how I should do this next cattle swapping operation. But guys, there's one thing that a lot of folks are not thinking about. So I think that the number one most popular idea is to, Lester, take all of the cows who are pregnant or who are going to have babies and put them up front into the bullpen, leaving the bulls out back with anyone who's not pregnant. And they says to send Chucky Poo up front to become like the headmaster of the nursery school of all the cows who have their babies. But the problem with that is that you're going to be leaving cows like Trinity. You'll be leaving cows like Jenny Lane. You'll be leaving cows like Norma Jean. You'll be leaving so many calves who are just yearlings out here on this pasture with these bulls. And then what's going to happen whenever those calves begin to come into heat? Then you're going to have a free-for-all of cows that are or bulls that are trying to breed, sometimes breeding into a bloodline they can't breed back into. That's so there. And then you would be also, if you think about the numbers, you would have 13, 14 cows up front, 15 cows up front in an only 10-acre pasture. And out here across this big, vast 25 acres, you'll be leaving 8. And you'll have all of your bulls together still, who are going to fight over any of these young ones who end up coming into heat. And we don't want to see that happen either. Guys, there's really only one solution. If you think about it, there's really only one solution. We're going to have to get Waylon. We're going to have to get Prince Willie Joe and Lord Grayson. And we're going to have to get Tex to go back up front. We're going to have to. And we're going to just hope and pray that you hate to run your ranch on a hope and a prayer, though. You hate to run your entire ranch and your entire operation on a hope and a prayer. But we're just going to have to hope and pray that the bulls will find a way to be content. They were last year. Can you guys think back to last year when we had our bullpen? The bulls were fine. We had little Gary, we had Waylon, and we had Tex. And they were content there for months. Yeah, they would sit there and look out back and look at the girls and do what they do, but they were content. They weren't constantly fighting and looking for ways to break out. So I do think that the X factor in all of this is going to be something you don't want to hear. I think it's going to have to be Chuck. We're going to have to move Chuck up front with the bulls, because otherwise Tex and Waylon don't trust him out here with the ladies. The same way they did not trust little Gary out here with the ladies. And that's the only way we're going to be able to do this, and hopefully have Tex and Waylon not be so distraught over thinking that there's someone else out here with the women, the girls. So that process is, that's going to be what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just hope that it works. It's what I have to do. So, first chance I get, I will take the feed buggy and move it out of the pasture. I'll let that go for a couple of days with the cows not having an access to their grain. Now, they'll still have their bellies full on grass and hay. Not to worry about that. But then what I will do is, once I have a chance to, I feel like they're hungry, I'll latch back onto that feed buggy and I'll come down towards the pasture like I did last time. I'll circle it around a couple of times, get their attention. When they all come running in kind of a frenzy, I'll drive it right up to that front bullpen, set it off. all of the cows, all of them will come up to eat. Bulls, heifers, cows, calves, all of them. And then once they're in there, then I will start, at that point I will start sorting out who can't stay. Alrighty? Alright, you're gonna have to hear me out when I say this. Many of you will not get it, but if you just listen, I want to explain something to you and show you what my plan is. Okay, I have a ton of these horse round pen panels that we're not using. Guys, they're scattered all over this property. They're just pretty much scattered everywhere, okay? And I'm not using them. One day maybe, but for now we're not. So instead of them just sitting around going to waste, I am going to use them. And I'm going to stand them up and have them welded. They're going to be welded here like this. This is how they're going to be welded, okay? On the inside of the barn, and that's going to make them extra strong because now not only are your bulls pushing against the panel, but they're pushing against these columns, which is going to make this really, really strong. I'm going to continue to wrap them, because I have tons, all the way around, down the side, around the back, around this side. Now on the sides, they'll be tacked welded to the post, the columns. Along the front, they'll only be stuck the way you stick panels. But because they are going to be tack welded here and here, they're not going to be as movable as they would be if they were just freestanding. We're going to put the little gate, because I have a 4-foot gate right here in the corner. So here will be my 4-foot gate that will come in and come out. Now, I'll close off the backside, and so this entire thing will be enclosed, all right? I will come by and drop their water troughs here inside the barn area, and whenever I get the cows to come up front to chase that feed buggy, I could park a feed buggy in here and leave it for a bit, because remember, the front panels are always going to be movable. I can detach them and open the front up, same as the back. But if I parked me a feed buggy right inside of here, the day I get all the cows to come up, at some point they will make their way into here. Once they're in here, once the bulls are in here, especially Tex, Waylon, Chucky Poo, Lord Grayson, and Prince Willie Joe, I will close them into this area. I will close them in. Don't worry, they will have shelter, they'll have a feed buggy, and they'll have water, okay? Now, all of the females will be out on the pasture. I'll take my second feed buggy, and I'll drive it back to the pasture where it belongs, having all of the females follow me. Now, I can get the females back, no problem. At some point, I will open up this 4-foot gate, which, by the way, will also have our bovine sock, so the cows can come by and rub on it all they want to, our bulls. I'll open up this 4-foot gate and allow the bulls to come back out. I think that I may leave them in here for a couple of days, 3 or 4 days. Remember, don't go crazy on me. I can drop them a roll of hay. They have their grain. They have their water. They have shelter, okay? And like I said, they're going to be fine. Maybe give them 3 or 4 or 5 days to kind of learn to cooperate and work with each other. There's plenty of space where they're not going to all be having to be stuck in a corner fighting. And then maybe you give them a little bit of time to adjust and realize that this is how it's going to be. And at that point, I'll open the gate and let them back out to pasture. And we're going to hope that that does the trick. All right, that's going to hope that it does the trick. Okay, what are your thoughts on that? While you're gathering your thoughts and you're trying to find a nice way to tell me I'm an idiot, I'm gonna walk over and see if our little miniature pond held any water whatsoever. We did get some rain. Let's walk over and see if our pond held any of it. Would you guys look at how amazing this grass is? That is good leafy grass, guys. That is just really, really good leafy grass. This is the good stuff. If I could bale this today, this would be as good as the hay the guy brought us. It would. It would be as good as the hay the guy brought us. Look at that. What a blessing. So this was my attempt at trying to find an additional water source for this pasture. Oh! Holy smokes, I did it! Holy smokes, I did it! Holy smokeroos! Look, guys, I created the pond. I created the pond. Yabba dabba doo. Why did I say that? Yabba dabba doo, y'all. I have created myself a pond here in the pasture, and I did it using a tiny excavator that cost me $169. Yes, I did that. I was so afraid it wasn't going to work. And look, it's holding water. Now, we did get that rain yesterday. So that means that as of now, it's holding water. I am so happy. Now, guys, I don't know what you expected from me, what size of pond you wanted to have over here. I told you, it is 10 foot wide, 15 foot long, and it's about 6 foot deep in the middle. Hey, it's a start, okay? It's a start. It's a start. If it ends up working and it ends up holding water, then you know what I may do? I may just go right back over to the rental place and say, hey, Hendrix, send me a big boy. Send me your big boy out here. Let me go ahead and make this thing double, quadruple the size. But for now, I built the pond. I believe I deserve a pat on the back, guys. I will take all of this dirt now that I know it's going to hold water and not just be a mosh pit. I'll take this dirt and start kind of spreading it around pretty and make it look a little bit nicer. We can't leave these mounds of dirt here. We could. It ain't going to hurt nothing. Look, I created the pond. Now, it'll be a while before it begins to balance itself out and the cows begin to use it. But guys, this to me is wonderful. I did this. And as the pond fills, they won't have to walk down to it if they want to get into the water. As the pond fills, they'll walk to the bank and take a drink the way that they do to every other pond. Look, I did this. And now that I know that I can sort of vision how it's going to work, now I can start playing with the edges a little bit and try to make a little bit smoother incline down into the water. I did that, and I'm going to leave this video on a high note. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you, Lord, for letting my little pond idea work. And we'll see you guys on the next video.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.